Hi guys, we can't be sure that Winston Churchill actually said this, but either way, it's a pretty good quote. It goes, "The best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter." So what did the average voter in the recent by-election think about each of the parties? And what I mean by each, well, we're mainly talking about the Tories, Labour and Reform UK. Some of the answers to the questions put to members of the public here are going to be very difficult to listen to. You have been warned.
What are your thoughts on the by-election results?
Well, I don't think it matters who gets in because they say they're going to do something and it never happens. Anyway, I think this is in a right mess. We need a lot more hospitals here and everything else.
Did you vote at this by-election?
Yes.
Who did you vote for?
Conservative.
Who would you...
No, please. Okay. Try and stay calm here. You said you needed more hospitals. In 2019, Boris Johnson promised to build 40 new hospitals. Or 2020, I think it was. Anyway, Boris Johnson promised to build 40 new hospitals. Did he build new hospitals? Did he build 40 new hospitals? No, he didn't. He lied to you. Now you're saying we need to build more hospitals, and your choice was to vote for the people who lied to you about building 40 new hospitals, or somebody else, and you voted for the liar. Are these people, this woman in particular, beyond help? Like, it would be better if she said, I didn't vote for any of them because they lied to me. But she turned around and voted for the Conservatives. Like, I'm not punching down here, okay? Some people may think this is very distasteful. I'm not. I'm trying to understand what makes people vote for a party when that party has lied to them continuously. Like, she understood, yeah, it's a mess. We were supposed to get 40 new hospitals. We didn't get 40 new hospitals. Then why the heck did you vote for the people who lied to you?
You voted for?
Reform UK.
It's about time we gave somebody else a chance. I mean, the town's dying on its feet.
Why do you say that?
Just look at it. And I mean, I don't know how long you've been here, but there's one thing you won't see, and there's a bobby on the beat. You'll see all the drunks, you see the druggies, you see the defecation in the doorways, the urination, but you won't see a bobby on the beat.
Why Conservative?
I don't know. I just did.
We were Conservative up until now.
How come?
But we just got fed up. I mean, there's potholes, NHS, train strikes. Dental, you can't get dental either.
Come the general election, I shall go back to Conservatives because the last thing I want is Labour, because Labour will mean more migration to this country, our borders will be less secure, etc., etc.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Immigration. If immigration is the only thing that concerns you, immigration has increased under the Conservatives. The Conservatives told you, vote for us and we will stop immigrants from coming in. Well, that has actually increased, okay, since Brexit, since the Tories have been in power. So why would you vote for somebody who is doing the opposite of what you want? Once again, is it because... I don't want to put words in this guy's mouth, but is it, well, they hate foreigners, I hate foreigners, and it doesn't matter if the number of foreigners coming in is more under the Tories, it's, well, they hate foreigners and I hate foreigners, and Labour like foreigners, so I'm not going to vote for Labour. Like, the Tories have done nothing to bring down immigration. They talk a lot, they spend a lot of money, but they haven't actually achieved their goal. But for some reason, people still think we need to give them another chance.
You know, if you think the Conservatives are bad, wait while we get Labour.
There's this speculation that perhaps people who've changed their vote from Conservative to Reform, that's actually benefited Labour at this by-election, helped them to win. What do you think of that?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, obviously it does, but that's democracy, you know. That's the good thing about democracy.
I think Peter Bone has damaged the Conservative reputation and has for bringing his floozy in as a candidate. Well, that's just showing us to be idiots.
They're cutting everything down. And the boats, you know, they're not doing anything about them either. Yeah, they should be looking after us, not, you know, the second lot, like, you know. But yeah, no sooner they come, oh yeah, rather than send them back, they put them in hotel and things like that. Yeah, and people are out in the street. They are people. They should be looking after us first, you know.
This argument about, well, we should be looking after our own first. But the Tories are not looking after British people. They don't care about British people. And notice that whenever the issue of homelessness is brought up, it's, well, the immigrants are being put in hotels. Why aren't we looking after our own? Instead of, why aren't we looking after people who are homeless? Let's just focus on that for a moment. Why are the Tories not providing extra housing? Why are there people in a situation where they have to rely on food banks or where they're having to sleep in doorways? Instead of focusing on immigration, focus on why the Tories are not resolving that problem. Because the media will not focus on that problem. They'll inject immigration, of course, into it.
Immigration, the illegal immigration, has got out of control, just totally out of control. And it's a knock-on effect. It all stems from why we can't get doctor's appointments and this and that and everything else. There's basically too many people in the country.
This is the old Brexit argument, and it seems that Leave.eu or Vote Leave or whatever the organisation it was very successful in brainwashing people, in poisoning people's minds. The idea that, well, you know, we need to leave the European Union in order to bring down immigration. If we bring down immigration, then we'll have more doctors' appointments, the GPs will be freed up. No, this is not the case. Do these people not understand that if you actually go into the hospital, you'll see that a lot of the people working in the hospital are not British. A lot of the people working in care are not from the United Kingdom. You need immigration. There's 150,000 nurse shortage in the NHS at the moment, and the same in social care. Like, I know I'm preaching to the converted here. I'm preaching to the choir, whatever the term is. But why we need to challenge these things. People continually believe, well, the problem is immigrants. So they think that, well, if the population increases, it means there are fewer doctors available. There are refugees who have qualifications. They want to work. They're not allowed to work. The reason many doctors and dentists, for example, are not like dentists in particular, is because of the contracts they have with the NHS. The Tories have not provided better contracts. There's nothing to do with immigration. It's to do with the contract the NHS has with these dentists. They're struggling at the moment to pay their bills. That's why many of them are relying on the private sector. They can't. There was a story recently where there was a queue of 100 people outside an NHS dentist surgery to get an appointment. Not even to get work done on their teeth, just to get an appointment. The nearest one was 50 miles away. This is the Tories. And what's frustrating is people will turn around, well, I'm going to vote for the Tories. Why? Well, I don't know. Why? Well, because they hate the same people as I hate.
Brad voted Leave when it was the Brexit referendum.
Yeah, I voted Leave.
What do you think about that? Why did you vote Leave?
Another, money-grabbing institution.
This is frustrating as well. Why did you vote to leave? Well, because the EU is a money-grabbing institution. I've said this before. Politicians will invest in an area in order to win votes, either to shore up their own candidate or to win over the voters and vote for their party. When it comes to the European Union invests in deprived areas because they're deprived. They look at, okay, what areas in the European Union are deprived? For example, Wales. Parts of Wales were really deprived, probably the most deprived in England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, in the United Kingdom. Parts of Wales were the most deprived. So the European Union decided, okay, we need to designate money for that area. It wasn't to shore up support for a candidate. It wasn't about winning over votes. It was because it was deprived. That money was going there. That money is no longer going there because the UK is no longer a member of the European Union. You have to rely on Westminster. And what will Westminster do? Well, Westminster will invest money where they believe they can win votes. So if it's a Labour-leaning area, it will not receive money. Do these people not understand that?
Just giving money to the Europeans. And don't get me started on the boats and giving money to the France, as we'd be here all day.
What would you say like the biggest benefits that you felt from Brexit?
To be honest, I mean, yeah, we can communicate with all the other countries which they weren't before.
Do you regret?
What the hell does that mean? A Brexit benefit is we could communicate with other countries. Now, maybe, look, she was put on the spot here. She wasn't able to think about it too quickly, but maybe she means trade. But Britain could trade with other countries. See, this is part of the problem. The media is not informing people. It's not... Politics has become some sort of shouting match, a game, a debating game. Who can shout the loudest wins. It's not actually about informing the public. And this is, once again, I keep coming back to this problem. The media failed dramatically when it came to Brexit. They did not inform the public about the consequences of leaving the European Union. They didn't inform the public about Britain's role in the European Union. This guy believes that Europe was taking money away from Britain and then squirreling it away or something, or giving it to poorer countries. Was anyone there to inform him? No. Was the media there to inform him? No.
Voted for Brexit?
No. I don't like the French or any of the... Well, particularly the French I don't like.
Lots of people.
I don't like foreigners. It's like the crux of Brexit. You know, I voted to leave the European Union because I don't like foreigners. At least he's been honest. Finally, we got a bit of honesty out of a Brexiteer. You know, most of them will say, well, it's about sovereignty, or it's about taking back control, or it's about money, or it's about democracy, or it's about unelected bureaucrats. But, you know, when you start scratching, you dig a bit deeper, you eventually come to, I don't like foreigners. I'm not saying everyone who voted for Brexit hated foreigners, but, you know, when you start chipping away at their arguments, a lot of them, most of them, not all, but most of them come down to the point of, well, you know, we don't like the country changing, we don't like foreigners, we don't like the French, we don't like the Germans. We've seen it in numerous other examples. This idea that the French were is it because of Agincourt? Is it because of World War II? You know, what is this motivation? What is this hatred for the French and the Germans in particular? I don't get it. Now, this video could go on for ages, so I'm going to stop here. I'll leave a link in the description so you can watch the whole thing from Times Radio. But the fundamental problem, of course, is that the media do not inform the public about important things. And then people end up voting for liars and charlatans, like Boris Johnson, Nigel Farage and Jacob Rees-Mogg. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what do you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.